Hello, everyone, and welcome to the house. This is our week one episode. The season is just about to start. Well, I guess it's already started on Thursday night, right? Um, Today, we are going to share our picks, our predictions for the awards, how the season is going to go in the divisions and everything. Um, and then we're going to give our picks for our week one matchups. And the way that works is we give our picks every week. We keep a record going for the entire season, and yeah, and then we got a winner at the end and a loser, and we'll go into more details about that and what that means when the season moves forward. So let's welcome the boys. So you obviously have me, Dom. You have Josh.
What's up, everybody?
And Jacob.
How's it going?
And yeah, let's just get rolling, boys. We got our awards that we're gonna go first with. All right, our player awards for the season, and we're gonna start with the biggest one. We're gonna start with MVP. So, Josh, I'll let you go first for MVP.
Yes, sir. I think my pick for MVP is kind of an easy one, at least in my opinion. I think Josh Allen is going to go off and have himself a heck of a season with the Bills. They have a great thing going with their coach, which I'll get into later also for another award, kind of teasing that. But I think that they just have a great thing going in Buffalo. They're going to continue it this year, and I can't wait to see them have a deep playoff run, hopefully. So, Jacob?
I would say, sorry, no, my MVP pick is Matt Stafford. I like him going to the Rams. I think they have great weapons. I think it's a much better team than Detroit, obviously. And I think that when your team is doing really well, it makes you look a lot better too. And so they're going to win games with that defense. And he's going to put up the stats. Probably not as much I see it as Detroit because they relied on the pass game. But I think that Matt Stafford really shows out and wins the MVP this year.
My pick for MVP is going to be Tom Brady. I think that Tom Brady potentially has the best season of his career. He's got a group of insane receivers. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, who played extremely well week one on Thursday night. 2 touchdowns. I did not expect that. I did not expect him to have the production and play the way he used to play for the Patriots, but he did phenomenally. And Brady loved him, and that's kind of scary, to be honest. It's a scary offense, and I think Brady, like I said, could have the best season of his career. Jake, who is not here, also agrees with me for Tom Brady being MVP. So our next award is Offensive Player of the Year. I'll go first on this one. And a decent amount of us agree. I know Jake agrees. Jacob, you'll talk about it in a second. I know you agree. Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, if he can stay healthy this whole year, that's going to be tremendous for that team. He's such a dynamic running back, borderline best in the league running back, top 1. And he catches the ball and does so much with that. He can run the ball. It's so impressive. And he's going to be definitely a favorite target for Sam Darnold. So, yeah. Jacob, if you want to talk about it more, go for it.
Yeah, like you said, I agree. CMC, he's going to be crazy good. He always is. Coming back from injury. I think most teams run their offense through the quarterback. This offense is ran through Christian McCaffrey, and he's going to get a lot of touches, like, per usual. And so, I got CMC being Offensive Player of the Year easy. Or I'm sorry, yes, Offensive Player of the Year easy to me.
And
easy.
He's due. He has yet to have an award. Like, he has yet to win an award. So it's due. It's so due.
I agree that he's due, and I feel like he could definitely get it. I'm not going to rule that out. But I feel like when I picked Josh Allen for MVP and everybody else picked Brady, Matt Stafford, I put in there for Sam Darnold for him, but I know he's not actually choosing him.
That was a joke.
For me, I feel like none of us chose Patrick Mahomes, who I think is an elite quarterback. He's going to be on the top of his game like he is every single season, barring maybe a downfall that hopefully we're not expecting. But hopefully that doesn't happen. So he's my pick for Offensive Player of the Year. I think that he's just not forgettable, but none of us picked him for MVP, so I feel like it's easy for me to just say, yeah, that's my offensive player then, for sure.
I feel like in our heads, we're just ready for other people.
I agree.
Yeah,
I feel like it's always nice to see
that's what
something
it is.
new, but I also feel like it's cool to appreciate how great what we have is,
For
especially
sure.
Tom Brady, like Dom saying. Him winning MVP would be huge in his whatever season this is for him. Like
22nd.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy if he wins it. So props to him if he does. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
With that, we're gonna move on over to our next award, the opposite Defensive Player of the Year award. Jacob, I'll let you go first.
All right. This man has won it 4 out of the last 5 years, or 4 out. Yeah, so I don't why not? Aaron Donald, insanely massive, strong dude. Like he just throws everybody around. He's got to do it again. Why would he not do it again? He's still in his prime. He's still playing at the top of his level, and so Aaron Donald. And to me, I don't think it's that close. I think maybe TJ Watt. It was stolen from TJ Watt last year. I will argue with that. But when you look at the amount of double teams Aaron Donald had to deal with, I think that obviously it's going to happen again. So we'll see. Maybe it's not as easy as I think, just because he is going to get double teamed. But I'm still confident in Aaron Donald until I'm proven otherwise.
I'm gonna go someone new who won Defensive Rookie of the Year last year with Chase Young. I think he's just gonna build off what he did last season. I kind of think what Jacob said last award of kind of just wanting to see something new might give it to somebody like TJ Watt or Chase Young too, to be honest, just because Aaron Donald has won it 4 of the last 5 times. So it's kind of just like, when are we going to the next guy? You know what I mean? Because Aaron Donald has gotten recognition deservingly, wholeheartedly deservingly, but I just think that maybe at some point the media, whoever votes on these, are going to vote for somebody newer, younger, faster, stronger, whatever you want to say. And I think that guy's Chase Young. I think he's going to go off this season. So,
my Defensive Player of the Year was Devin White, which is a little off the beaten path. I didn't want to choose the front runner guys like Aaron Donald, Chase Young. You guys chose them. Jake chose TJ Watt, who is very overdue for the award. People say he got snubbed in the past 2 years. But I went with Devin White. Devin White's a very good linebacker, very responsible on defense, and he's been one of the best linebackers since he's entered the league. I believe this is his 3rd year maybe now?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Third,
Great since.
Third or fourth.
But yeah, he's very responsible on defense. He's a tackler. He does a lot for that defense. He's probably the captain of that defense. So I'm gonna go with Devin White. A little bit off of everyone else, but I wanted to throw another name. You know. Next one is the Offensive Rookie of the Year. What do you guys have? This I know.
Josh and I
There's
both
a
have
lot of
the same guy.
possibilities here.
For me, me and Jacob just said it under. Yeah, we both have Najee Harris. I think the dude's going to go off this season with the Steelers. I think he's kind of going to be like a Le'Veon for them. I think personally better than Le'Veon was. The dude's a freaking beast, so I cannot wait to watch him play.
I just think when you look at the rookies, Najee Harris just looks like the most league-ready guy. And so I think he's just immediate impact, and it's going to he's going to pay off well. I can't remember what pick they got him with, but that is a big, big pick, and he will, in my opinion, win Rookie of the Year.
I also feel like, real quick again, I feel like that he's the most, not easily set up, but I feel like he's the best set up, especially at a running back position, that you just get handed the ball, you just got to run it. At least quarterback, you got to depend on receivers to catch the ball. You got to depend on offensive line, really running back too, I guess, depend on offensive line. But I just feel like quarterback position, there's a lot more pressure and variables that go into winning that award. So
easily.
Jake chose Justin Fields, who is just as capable to do so. I mean, if he starts a majority of the year, he's very talented. He looked incredible in preseason, and he could definitely quarterback that offense. I chose Mac Jones, who I think the same way. He's definitely capable. The Patriots, he's everything the Patriots want him to be. You know, everything the Patriots want in a quarterback. and he understands the playbook very, very well. Before Cam Newton was released, he was helping Cam Newton learn the playbook. Like Mac Jones, his IQ is up there, and I think that's what the Patriots expect. He's responsible with the ball, and we'll see. He's going to start all season, so he has a very good chance as a quarterback to win the award. They always give favor to quarterbacks in all of these awards. So if he has a pretty decent year, they're probably going to hand it to him. Even if Najee Harris has a great year, it's how the cookie crumbles for awards for some reason. It's just always quarterback favored. But yeah, that's my pick. Let's move on from there. The opposite of offense, defensive rookie of the year. I'm going to go Patrick Surtain. All right, Patrick Surtain, he's a cornerback, and I don't think a pass rusher is going to win this award this year. Usually they are favored for these defensive awards. If a pass rusher puts up decent numbers, it usually goes to them. I don't think it's going to go to a pass rusher this year. I don't think there's any clear-cut top guys like Chase Young that is a rookie this year that's going to do that well. But yeah, I'm going Patrick Surtain. I think he's NFL ready, and I think he's the top cornerback in that class. So, you guys?
I'll go next. I also want to point out Jake had J.C. Horn, another defensive back who I think could probably get close to winning this award, if not have a pretty decent season. I've got Micah Parsons. He did not look good in that first game. I watched, unfortunately, the first game with him in it. He was on ice skates, wandering around the field, given he was playing against the greatest quarterback of all time. So I do think that is something we need to take into account, and I hope he can turn the season around because I just did not like the showing he had in his first game.
I am going with the Browns player. They have two really great rookies, actually, Greg Delpit, and then also Owusu Koromoa. I chose Koromoa not for any really particular reason. I really like Patrick Surtain in the preseason. I thought he was great. But I just wanted to give to a Browns guy. And so that's who I chose, and that's who I'm going to stick with, obviously, for the year. I'm not even sure if he's starting right now. So we will see what he ends up doing. And hopefully he wins Rookie of the Year.
An award that's a little bit underrated sometimes, an award that people don't remember, but I think it's deserved every time, is the Comeback Player of the Year award. What do you guys have for this one?
Well, Josh and I again have the same.
I feel like
guy.
it's an easy choice for me and Jacob, maybe, but go ahead, Jacob. You go.
I mean, I don't think it's super easy because the choices that Dom and Jake made are pretty good too. But I went with Dak Prescott, obviously, and so did you. And he showed in the first game how well he is and how great he's playing. Hopefully, he stays healthy. It scares me a lot with the injury that he had, but I do think that he's still playing at a high level. We saw against a great defense in Tampa Bay. So I got Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I'm backpacking off of that. I've also got Dak Prescott, like he said. I do think what Jacob said, even in our pre-show that we did live, an hour ago now, Jacob did say that injury does scare him and doesn't know if he'll hold up this season or obviously get re-injured type thing. But I feel like that first game, he looked amazing. Like he looked back to his normal self, if not better. So I think that he looked really good in that first game. And I think that shows that if he could get re-injured, obviously I'm not going to rule that out. But I think at this point, playing wise, I think he's better than ever. So I'm super excited to see him come back and really just run this season for the Cowboys. So,
my Comeback Player of the Year is Christian McCaffrey. Also, three of our Offensive Player of the Year awards. Jake has Christian McCaffrey as well, Offensive Player of the Year and Comeback Player of the Year. They're good picks. Dak and Christian McCaffrey. I think it's really going to be between those two guys. I don't think there's any player coming back from like an injury on defense that's going to win the award. But I think it's between those guys. And this is another one where it's probably going to be favored towards the quarterback. If Dak has a great year and plays like he just played this past week, it's definitely going to be Dak. But we'll see. This is going to be a competitive award, not one that's usually that competitive. So the last award is our Head Coach of the Year award. This one's always an interesting one to me because it's like, you know, you can judge performances on the field for the individual players and whatnot and those awards. But head coach is such a team award. You know, it usually goes to a team that's really improved from the previous year, a head coach that just got hired and did a lot with the team in that year, or just a top team and how well they played that year. So what do you guys have for head coach of the year?
I've got the Rams head coach Sean McVay. I think Matt Stafford winning MVP. I think that team they're Super Bowl contenders. I don't think they make the Super Bowl, but they get a deep playoff run in, and they're at the top of their division for sure for me. So I think Sean McVay really shows out with that Rams team and wins Coach of the Year this year.
Yeah, I'm going another Sean, but I'm going to go McDermott like Dom did. I think the Bills are going crazy. What?
Spoiler.
Oh, he didn't say his? I thought he said his at the very beginning. Yeah, I picked him. I think the Bills are going to go crazy this year. I said it before with Josh Allen winning MVP for me. I think that the Bills just have a great thing going in Buffalo. They're going to keep it going this season. Deep playoff run, hopefully. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's due and deserved for Sean McDermott for sure. It's the best Bills team maybe ever in their history. I mean, I know they went to the Super Bowl four years in a row, but they didn't win one of them. That was a good team, but this is another great team for the Bills. I mean, at least since then, this is the best team that's been produced for the Bills, and he has a lot to do with that. So that is my head coach. Jake chose Bill Belichick, which is an interesting one. And I don't think that far-fetched just because of how much this Patriots team could turn around in a year, you know. It was terrible last year, not a good record last year. And this could be to a Patriots team that makes it to the playoffs. So sometimes that wins awards too, that turnaround in the course of a year. A head coach is definitely deserved for that. What's up?
I was going to say, you know what I love? I love that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you didn't finish, you can finish.
Oh, you're good. Go for it, Jake.
Okay. So, I just love that I chose Sean McVay. Whenever I literally am predicting that the Bucs go 17-0, and I don't have Bruce Arians. Like that doesn't make sense. Like, why would I not choose Bruce Arians?
I mean, if they go 17-0, Bruce Arians
he's winning it. It's obvious.
Yeah, even though it might not be his fault and might not be completely due to him. Yeah, it still makes that's an award you win.
You essentially know you're winning that award. Oh well, contradicting, but it's okay.
All right, well let's move on from awards now. Let's go to the playoff picture. Let's talk playoffs now. Let's talk how the season result. We're gonna start in the NFC, and we're gonna go with the NFC playoff picture. Let's give our 4 division winners. All right, and then our wild card after that. So let's start with Josh.
For me, am I going to go all 4, all 7? Like I'm giving the whole conference right now?
Yeah, go division winner first, and then we'll.
Cool. So I've got NFC North. I think it's pretty obvious who I'm going with here. It's Green Bay. Green Bay should run that division this season. If they don't, it's a very big surprise to me.
Not to cut you off, let's go each division at a time.
Each division at a time, okay. So yeah, NFC North, I got Green Bay. They should be able to run this division. And I'm not going to spoil it, but everybody else did too.
Jacob, me, all of us chose Green Bay to win that division. I think it's a cakewalk. There's not much competition in that division for a division title. So definitely Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Let's move on to NFC East. Me and Jacob chose the same.
Yeah.
That would be Dallas. Jacob, why'd you choose Dallas?
Well, I think in the most obvious way, it's the NFC East. And Dallas has the most weapons on offense out of any of those teams. There's not a lot of defense. Well, I'm not going to say there's not a lot of defense. There is defense, obviously, in the Washington football team. I'd even say the Giants. But I think that you saw how the Dallas team put up points against Bucs already. And so I think that easily in my head, Dallas is going to win this because the Giants are an okay team. They're a decent team. I think they're second in that division. I think Washington only has defense. And the Eagles, I don't think anybody knows where they are. And so I think that Dallas is the most obvious choice, in my opinion, for the division winner of this division.
I think Dallas is most set offensively. I think that's an NFL caliber offense, whereas the rest of this division to me is not an NFL caliber offense. It's a little bit less. They're not, they're not competing with these other top teams in the league, I don't think. Josh, what about you?
Unfortunately, I made the homer pick here. I'm going with my New York Giants. You look at the Manning jersey behind me. I have to support my team. Looking at that Dallas first game, though, they played amazing. They looked crazy incredible
Against
on
the
both
top
sides
team?
of the ball. They had turnovers even on defense. So I feel like that game kind of made me question my pick a little bit. But I do think the Giants kind of have a surprise potential this season. I think that because of Daniel Jones and the Giants really bringing in different weapons for him, Kenny Golladay, drafting Kadarius Toney. You brought in Kyle Rudolph, too, for another tight end, hopefully more sure-handed than Evan Ingram has been. And the defense, I think, is super underrated. The Giants' defense is, I think, maybe top 10, top half of the league at least. So I think they've got a solid defense. And when you look at Philly and Washington, to me, I just think that the Giants should win those 4 games. Washington's got a good defense, but I don't see their offense doing anything. And Philly's defense, I'm sorry. This whole division against Philly should be scoring 30 at least. Philly's defense is horrendous. I'm sorry, Jake, if you're watching this, but Philly's defense is not good. They will be at the bottom of the division, but top division, I really think it's Giants, Dallas, or Washington could win it. Dallas is a great team, but I got to pick my Giants here. So,
I chose Dallas. Jake is choosing the Washington football team. And I don't think that's that too far-fetched for me. I think it's a safe pick with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think he's a very safe pick when it comes to quarterbacks, like dead average in the league kind of guy. Yeah. He's not going to make that many mistakes. He's going to get guys the ball, but it's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. And that defense is a good defense. That's a good defense. So we'll see how they go. Next division, the NFC South. This was just, I don't think we need to talk much about this. We all chose Tampa Bay. Jacob's going, he's on this 17-0 train. That Tampa Bay goes undefeated.
I'm not hopping on that train.
I'm not either.
Take my ticket if you want it.
I think it's going to be close. I do think it's going to be close. I think they're upwards of 15 to 17 wins. Honestly, it's up there. Let's move on from it. We all chose them. The NFC West, an extremely, extremely competitive division where we all chose different teams. There's 4 teams in the division, and we all chose a different team. That's impressive for a division. That's incredible.
Well, I chose the obvious winner here, though.
What's that?
Yeah, to you, it's the obvious
winner.
The
Rams, the best defense in that's a top 5 defense in the league. What other team in that division has a top 5 defense? San Francisco, maybe that's a maybe top 5, but their offense, come on. Well, the Rams have I'd say top 10 offense and a top 5 defense. The Cardinals, I don't think they're up there. Obviously, they have a great receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. They have a decent defense. Seattle, terrible offensive line, terrible defense. There's not much hope in Seattle for me. And I love Russ, and I just think he's the only upside to that team aside from him, DK Metcalf, maybe obviously Tyler Lockett. They have good receivers, but their offensive line is just so atrocious. It's not helpful. And then San Francisco, their offense, I don't think that's a bad team. I think they're second in the division for me. Well, I don't know. I have Arizona making the wild card, so I can't really say that. I don't know. I don't know. But I think Rams are definite winners of that division.
I don't think that it's crazy to say the Rams. I just think it's much closer than you might be saying. I think Arizona has a great offense and a young defense that I think could be underrated this season. I think their defense is just really young and needs to learn fundamentals of the game. Once they get that, I think they're a pretty good defense. And their offense, what was that?
I said, yeah, learn how to stay out of trouble too.
Learn how to stay out of trouble. One guy out of college. Anyway. Arizona offense, I think, is crazy good to me. I think they can shoot out if they need to. So I do think that if needed, they can. And against the Rams defense, you're right, it might be a little difficult. But I think that Arizona could take this division.
I chose Jake chose Seattle. I personally think that Seattle's the bubble for playoff contention has burst with this competitive division and just them not keeping up with these other teams around them, inclining so much. I think some change needs to happen in Seattle before they make playoffs again. For me, I chose San Fran. I just have a feeling that San Fran's going to be a top team again. Maybe Trey Lance ends the season as their starting quarterback. I don't know. But I think they have what it takes with that defense. I think they're going to be a little bit of a surprise. I know them and the Rams have to be just like neck and neck probably the whole season for that to happen. But I'm going to go with San Fran. I saw that you guys chose 3 different ones. I'm like, you know what? San Fran's not that far-fetched. Let's all toss in a different name on that one. I'm okay with it. Now, our wild cards, I'll go first. I chose the Rams to be wild card because, like I said, I think they'll be neck and neck with San Fran if San Fran wins the division. And then I chose Arizona. So I'm still including 3 of those 4 teams. I think Arizona would also stay up there pretty far. And then this one was a little bit of a bold one. I chose Chicago to make playoffs. I think they'll be the last seed if they do. But I think this conference, to me, is a very weak conference compared to the AFC. The AFC is just so strong. It's hard to choose the winners in the AFC, whereas the NFC, I was like, gosh, who's going to make that last spot? It might even be a losing record in that last spot. Like, so I went with them. Josh, wild card?
Yeah, for my wild card, since I picked the Giants in the NFC East and Arizona in the NFC West, I feel like I had to go. Those are the 2 closer divisions in my eyes in the NFC for sure. Obviously, when you look at Green Bay and Tampa Bay, they're easily making it. So I had to put Dallas and the Rams in there. I feel like they're just kind of up there with the teams that I picked, so I'm throwing them in for wild card as well. And then I've got Carolina sneaky in as well. I think that Darnold is going to have a heck of a season and show out that he is good when he has weapons and things around him that can support him, unlike he did in New York. So I think that he should be able to prove that he's a good quarterback in the NFL. So I got Carolina making that last one.
And you and Jake chose the same: Arizona, Dallas, and the Rams to take those wild cards. Jacob, what about you?
I have Arizona, Carolina, and the Giants. The Giants defense, I think, really carries them, but also Saquon stays healthy. That's a solid team. But I have Arizona because of obvious. I think Arizona's offense, like Josh said, they have a young defense. So I like Arizona, but you talking about San Fran really kind of opened my eyes to them too. But I'm gonna stick with what I have, obviously, and I have Arizona, Carolina, New York Giants, and I like Carolina and their defense and their young team. Christian McCaffrey's gonna have a great year, and so those are my 3. That's what I got.
All right. Josh has to leave in a few minutes, so I'm gonna kick this to Josh mostly for his entire AFC playoff picture. I want to hear it all, Josh. What do you got?
Yes, sir. AFC North, I think it's pretty obvious. Dom thinks otherwise in this. I won't spoil it. But I think Cleveland's going to go off this season. I think their defense is crazy. Their offense should be crazy on paper. I think it will be as well, continue to be this season. I think Baker's going to have a great season. So I got Cleveland for them. AFC East, I'm going to go Buffalo. As I said, for MVP and Coach of the Year, Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, I think are doing amazing things in Buffalo. They're going to continue to do so this season and make I think, Super Bowl run. So AFC South, I'm going Tennessee. I think when you look at the division, I think Tennessee is the most complete team. I do think Indianapolis is close, so I don't think it's a bad pick for Indianapolis. But I just think Tennessee, especially with the addition of Julio Jones, I don't know how you're doing defense against that offense. I really don't. You can't defend everybody. You defend the run. They have 2 top 5 receivers in the league that they can just throw to. So Ryan Tannehill really just needs to get the ball to any of those guys, and they're going to win the division handily, I think. AFC West, no debate. It's Kansas City. There's no questions asked there. For my wild cards, I'm going to go Indianapolis, who I think is not a bad pick in the AFC South, obviously, like I said. I also put in New England there. I think with Mac Jones, I think he fits the system almost perfectly. It's kind of crazy how much he fits it, and I think he's going to have one heck of a season. And I also throw in oh my God, I was looking at Jacobs. I do not throw in New England. My bad. I throw in Baltimore, not New England. That is so my bad. Wow. I throw in Baltimore behind Cleveland. Now with all those injuries, though, I don't know if I want to back that up. I might switch that.
Just running back. They still have Lamar Jackson, though.
Yeah, they still have their running back, Lamar Jackson. I might switch that. Yeah, I don't know who I'm going to switch that to. I'm going to go Indianapolis and Chargers, though, for my definite wild card. Indianapolis and Chargers. Justin Herbert should have a great season this year. So I don't know who my third one is yet, but I got to switch up. But yeah, I'm going to peace out. You guys finish the episode. Talk good for me. And love you guys.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
All right, Jacob. Let's talk AFC then.
All right.
I'll do it the same way. We can do it the same way Josh did it.
Okay.
I'll go first. I'm going to go with the AFC North. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, which is an outlier compared to all of the rest of you.
Unpopular opinion.
I think Pittsburgh and Cleveland are going to be like head to head that whole time, the whole season. And the last game of the season for them is against each other. The Browns versus the Steelers. Week 18 then? Yeah, week 18.
Yeah.
So I think it might just come down to that game right there. And I'm going to choose Pittsburgh. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They have a phenomenal defense. They have a offense that's been together for a long time, and they just plug in Najee Harris, who, let's be honest, is, like we've been saying, NFL ready. So that's scary, dude. That's a scary team. I know Cleveland is too, and they have such a great roster. But putting it together doesn't always work the best for Cleveland. I think Pittsburgh is more secure. Big Ben knows his targets, knows how to spread around the ball very well. Baker struggles with that here and there with Odell and Jarvis sometimes. But, yeah, I'm barely just going to go Pittsburgh. Then for AFC East, I'm going Buffalo, not New England, Buffalo. I think they're another strong team. They're going to be up there with wins and their record. AFC South, I'm going Tennessee like Josh did. That wide receiver duo between A.J. Brown and Julio is just insane. And you got to try to figure out how to cover those two guys at the same time and then effectively stop the run.
Derrick Henry in the back. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. You have a top 2 running back and then like just 2 top 5 receivers maybe. That's absurd. That's absolutely insane. Ryan Tannehill really just chucks it up and someone catches it, hands it off, and there's a touchdown. It's wild. AFC West. Yeah, honestly. AFC West, we all went Kansas City. We all agree with that one. It's still a competitive division, but Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City, nothing's going to change there from years previous. I'll say Jake's real fast, and then we'll talk wild cards after we go through our division winners. Jake chose Cleveland, just like you guys did for AFC North. He chose New England for the AFC East. He thinks New England's gonna beat out Buffalo. I would think it's gonna be just barely, but
it's bold, yeah.
It is a little bit bold. Then he chose Indianapolis for AFC South over Tennessee. That's another. Well, it's not that bold. I do think they have a great season. And then he chose Kansas City. So what about you, Jacob?
So I've got Cleveland, the AFC North. I like your points about obviously Najee Harris. Big Ben is obviously, a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He knows, like you said, he knows his targets. That defense has been great consistently. But I like Cleveland, obviously on paper. Another point that you made of Baker forcing the ball to Odell and Jarvis, he forces, like, statistically while on the field, Odell on the field, he doesn't play as well. And so I'm hoping that he gets rid of that. I'm hoping he doesn't try to force the ball to Odell like he had been the past couple of seasons, because that really hurts them. Like, it shows that it hurts them. So he needs to focus on everything else. It's also a run-first offense, which is obviously great, and they do the play action so much, which is so helpful for Baker, obviously. I think that offense is running really well, and they have great players on defense. So I've got Cleveland taking that. AFC East, I have Buffalo. I feel like that's a pretty obvious choice to me. Aside from them, the division isn't too good. I think New England is a decent second just because of coaching, and I think that they run their system is so well, especially with Mac Jones, and it's going to work out fine for them. AFC South, I've got Tennessee. I can see it being kind of close with Indianapolis, but I do think obviously that offense in Tennessee is so great, and those defensive backs in Tennessee are also so great. It's just hard to go against them in that division. AFC West, it's obviously Kansas City, but I think the Chargers are also a good team in that division. And so I think that Chargers win upwards of 12, 13 games, while the Chiefs win probably like 15, 14.
Yeah.
And so that's where I have that.
Continue on with wild card. Go for it.
Yeah. So like I said, I think Tennessee and Indianapolis is kind of competitive. And so I have Indianapolis, of course, making wild card. I like New England and their system, like I said before, and I think the coaching gets them to the wild card. And then my third is the Chargers, who I think, like I said, it was competitive and wins upwards of 12, 13 games. You win 12, 13 games, you should probably make the playoffs in some way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Chargers is who I have for my third wild card team.
Jake went Buffalo because he chose New England to win the division. Went Buffalo as the first wild card. He wrote Indianapolis again as his wild card. I think he meant Tennessee. That's an obvious. Definitely going Tennessee for that. So he chose Tennessee and wild card, and he chose the Chargers and wild card, which you and Josh also did. So 3 of the 4 of us have chosen Chargers so far. I'm going to go New England as a wild card team. I think they're capable enough to do so, banking on them having a pretty decent season with Mac and them playing well. Indianapolis I have up there making it because, once again, they're a great team, but Tennessee is just a little bit better to win the division. And then, like we talked about, Cleveland. You guys have Cleveland winning the division. I had Pittsburgh winning, and I said it just came down to that last game. I think that's going to be a first wild card spot, no problem for Cleveland. And I think they might even have a better record than some of these division winners in this league, and still make wild card. It's just how the cookie crumbles. So
I think the division is probably one of the stronger divisions for sure.
Oh, easily.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I throw in the Ravens. Yeah.
Yeah, you had Baltimore in there. So, or no, you didn't. Josh
had Baltimore.
Yeah. Nonetheless, they're definitely capable. All right, then we did our Super Bowl predictions, which is very early, of course. But what is yours? Yours is the same as Josh. So tell us about yours.
I have Tampa Bay and Buffalo. I think Tampa Bay, I've been writing and we've talked about it, I think, already on the show. Tampa Bay goes 17-0 in my opinion. It's a great team. Obviously all 22 are starters returning. And then I've got Buffalo on the other side, just because Buffalo, we all know, is a great team. Josh Allen has been leading them really well. Sean McDermott's been doing a great job with them. And I think it's their time. And that's, I think, something that a lot of us are just making out. It's their time. And so why not?
Yeah. Jake went Tampa Bay, Kansas City. I don't know who his winner is. But
wait, I did not say winner. I think Tampa Bay is going to win that. I do think Tampa Bay is still going to win, but I did kind of make it seem like I said Buffalo. No, go ahead.
Josh chose Buffalo, I think, to win. No.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did.
I'm going to go with Green Bay and Tennessee, which is off the beaten path a little bit. Everyone's been choosing Tampa Bay and Buffalo to definitely make it up there. I chose neither, which might be a little bit of a risk. But I changed it up. I chose Green Bay and Tennessee. I think Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay, I think they have a great, great season. Aaron Rodgers makes it there kind of for his last hurrah in Green Bay, maybe. Sells himself to the rest of the league at that point, really is like, okay, you want to sign me. Yeah, I'm still here. You want to sign me in free agency. I don't think this is his last season in the league. And then Tennessee. And I'm going to have Tennessee winning the Super Bowl. Tennessee's team is just so dominant on offense. And they're going to bully teams' defenses with that offense, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's move into this week. Let's talk short term. Let's talk week 1 NFL football. I'm going to bring in the graphic so everyone can see it as we go. There it is. There's our graphic for our picks. This will be on Instagram, which you see on the bottom of the screen. Instagram at To The House JD. So we all chose Tampa Bay in that Thursday night game. That's already passed. We all won that one. Philadelphia at Atlanta. This is an interesting one to me because I really think this is a toss-up. Last time they played, I believe Atlanta won off a wide receiver screen to Julio with just like a terrible no call on a block and whatnot. So it was a close game. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to Philly this time around. I really think Philly's gonna have a nice first game. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna have a nice first game. And Atlanta might blow that game. So Jake also chose Philly. He is a Philly fan. Will chose Philly as well. Jacob, you and Josh, what about you guys?
Atlanta. So I think, I don't know. I just don't have a lot of faith in Philly this year. But I think Atlanta, it's a home game for them. I think that plays a big part in this game for them. I think Matt Ryan plays a decent game. Obviously, they lost Julio. But still have Calvin Ridley. Russell Gage, right? I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think it's a decent team. I think it's a close game. I do think it's a toss up for sure. But I have Atlanta winning it, and that's just based off of experience at the quarterback position, and I think home field advantage.
And yeah, Kyle Pitts, first game. So we'll
Kyle
see.
Pitts, it's huge.
Pittsburgh at Buffalo. I'm the only one that chose Pittsburgh, but then again, I am on this Pittsburgh train for them winning in this division and in their division and whatnot. I like Buffalo a lot, and I think this is going to be a great game. I think Buffalo is going to be up there. But the rest of you chose Buffalo, and tell us why.
I mean, I just think Buffalo. A lot of people have Buffalo winning the Super Bowl, or getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and so I think that obviously as a team, I don't know. This is a toss-up. This is a great game. This is a great Week 1 matchup.
really is.
Great Week 1 matchup. You have two powerhouses, I'd say, two great teams going at it, and I just think that I don't know what gives them the edge in my opinion, man. I just like the Bills in this, but this is a close game. It's much closer than it looks based off of picks.
Very true.
And maybe home field advantage again. Week 1,
yeah.
Bills fans are going to be popping. Like they're gonna love that game.
They're excited. They're like, all right, Josh Allen MVP. We're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, they have every reason to be excited and pumped. So it's going to be a scary year for teams in that stadium for sure.
Yeah.
Minnesota at Cincinnati. We all chose Minnesota. Cincinnati. It's just bottom team in the league. It's they're under par. I don't know. They have to prove themselves. Joe Burrow still has to prove himself in the NFL. That's just tough. That's a tough one. We all chose Minnesota. Kirk can quarterback and offense. It's a 1:00 game. Both defenses are the best. Yeah, Dalvin Cook. That's going to be a big part of this game. Cincinnati's run defense is not there. So, yeah.
Pretty obvious.
San Fran at Detroit. Self-explanatory. San Fran's in the top half of the league. Detroit is in the bottom 2 spots in the league.
Yeah, no, that's not it. I don't want to say bottom half. Like that's like
yeah.
bad.
It's going to be rare that we see Detroit's logo on these picks during the year. So
yeah,
it is what it is. Arizona at Tennessee. Josh chose Arizona. But Josh also chose Arizona as the division winner, so I don't blame him. Rest of us chose Tennessee, and for me, it just comes down to we're going to be a broken record over the course of the year. So am I. How do you play defense against Tennessee? Julio Jones, AJ Brown, unreal. Derrick Henry, you got to stop the run. It's just, how do you play defense against that? Effectively.
You just don't. You have to. Your game plan is to score a lot of points, and that's still hard because of defensive backs.
Yeah,
and
that's
scary.
All Tennessee needs is 10 yards for a first down, and you got to try to stop Derrick Henry for 10 yards on all 3 downs while stopping them from stretching the field with Julio Jones, and it's good luck. That's all.
I don't know. That's scary.
It's hard to choose against Tennessee this year for me. Seattle at Indianapolis. Josh chose Seattle. That's an interesting one for me too.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us chose Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis's defense is just that good. And I think Seattle, like I said, I think the bubble has burst for them making the playoffs. So Indianapolis defense against that Seattle offense. Boom. What about you?
I think the Seattle offensive line is going to really struggle.
Yeah.
I think obviously the Colts, assuming Carson Wentz plays, I'm sure he is. I think that's a solid offense that can put up points against the defense that struggled the past couple of years, I'd say. And so, I just got the Colts kind of running away with it, which I don't want to say that because it's still Russell Wilson. They still have great receivers. It's hard to go against Russell Wilson, but also that offensive line is just I would be scared to sit behind that offensive line, but we'll see what happens. But I think Colts easily take this one.
The Chargers at Washington. Talk about this game. Go for it.
Chargers, I think last year showed that they're really, especially on offense, a really great team. They just couldn't win the close games. And I don't know what it was, but they've fixed their offensive line, or they've tried to fix their offensive line so far. They are going up against a great defense, and I understand that. But if Justin Herbert plays anything like he did last year, I think they can easily score points. While Washington, I think this might be a close game. It might be a close game because I do trust Ryan Fitzpatrick a lot more than I think most people might. And so I think that they have, Terry McLaurin, great receiver. I think Chargers win this by more than about a touchdown, maybe more than a touchdown, just over.
I'm choosing Washington. I just think it's the first game of the season. The Chargers aren't going to be. No one's in a groove yet this season.
That's true.
I think the Chargers just barely lose this one. I think Washington manages to pull away by a field goal, maybe a touchdown, maybe less. And I think it's going to be close. But Washington defense, it's just the Chargers aren't in full blast yet. No team is, and I just think Washington manages to pull it out. I have a little bit of an upset on this one.
Yeah, I feel like any game this week one, you just don't really know what to expect. So it's like anything can happen.
Yeah. The Jets at Carolina. Will is the only one that chose the Jets. He is a Jets fan. He expects some productivity out of Zach Wilson immediately. We chose Carolina. I just think Carolina's young defense. It's another year, and I expect them to do well after having some experience now. And I just think they have enough of what it takes to beat the Jets. I think this is a good matchup for Carolina in week one to get their season going. And Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson against the Jets. That's a little bit of a revenge tour. I just think they get it done. Christian McCaffrey healthy. That's going to be hard for Jets defense. So
yeah, I think Carolina runs the score up, and I don't think it's a close game really, in my opinion. And I think the Panthers run away with it. Jets will score. I don't know what I want to say the score will be, but it'll be up there, especially for the Panthers.
It's hard to say what we expect of the Jets, you know?
Yeah, it really is. So I feel like they've gotten better, but I also think that Carolina's defense has gotten better, and Christian McCaffrey. I mean,
Jacksonville at Houston. You and Jake chose Houston.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. I don't like choosing Houston. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like it. I think maybe I'm thinking quarterback play comes into this, but why would I think that? Because Houston's also struggling with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what to expect for these two.
I don't know what to expect at all. But I'm excited for this game. I can't wait to see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe Texans tank, maybe not. We'll see.
Tyrod Taylor gets to kind of maybe revitalize his career too. So that could, he's going to be trying in this game. That's for sure. I think both of these teams have an opportunity to set a standard for their season, to show fans that what they're capable of, because these are two teams with zero expectations. So we get to see that. I just chose Jacksonville and I think the rest of us chose Jacksonville just because it's like, all right, it's against Houston.
It's Houston.
That's all it takes, Cleveland at Kansas City. We all chose Kansas City, which is kind of surprising, to be honest, because I think Cleveland's going to really stay in this game all the way till the end. But we just gave it to Kansas City. I think we know what to expect more from Kansas City than Cleveland. I think some questions need to be answered for Cleveland for all of us. And it might just take one game and we'll know what to expect from Cleveland for the rest of the year. But I understand why we all chose Kansas City. It's going to be a close game, closer than just a sweep. So,
I just think that home games is going to play a big role again here. It's just it's at Kansas City. That's a huge deal. I went to Kansas City preseason game this year against the Vikings, and that stadium was so loud. I cannot tell you how, that blew my mind how loud it was in a preseason game. And so that's scary for sure. But I also picked Cleveland in the pre-show for the upset of the week, or for my upset. And so I like Cleveland. And I think it's a close game, but I think Kansas City being at home is just going to be too much for that team.
Yeah.
Any team.
Next game, Miami at New England. All of us chose New England except for Josh. I do think New England's capable. I think Miami's capable. I just expect New England to come out firing. I do. I expect Mac Jones to be ready. I expect that offensive to be ready. I expect the running game to be ready. Defense to certainly be ready. It's a good defense on both sides of the ball, or both teams. I just think New England gets it done. And if I'm going to be honest, I don't expect that much from Miami this year. So,
yeah. I feel like I expect a decent amount from Miami, an okay amount, at least not nothing crazy. I think the Patriots win this game. Like I said, I think that Mac Jones plays a good game, and in that system, it's just going to work well. I think really well together. but they also have they also have a really good run game. I'm all about their run game.
Yeah.
Great backs, and I just don't think the Dolphins can keep up with all of those weapons. And so I think, and obviously the tight ends at the Patriots, there's a lot of hype around those two as well. So
That's going to be interesting to see how this goes. This
yeah,
is a new Patriots offense. We have not seen this Patriots offense at all. It's the biggest change from one year to the other on the Patriots offense for sure. So,
yeah.
Green Bay at New Orleans. We all chose Green Bay. I think it also comes down to, all right, nothing's changed in Green Bay. We know it's going to be a good offense. We know it's going to be a good defense. New Orleans, there's questions.
Pretty big change at quarterback.
Yeah, pretty big change at quarterback. Even though I'm very faithful in Jameis Winston this year, I still we know what to expect from Green Bay. That's what it comes down to. That's week one, really, essentially, is like our expectations for the season. You know, if there's a team we don't know what to expect from, we're probably not going to pick them. So that's kind of what this is looking like. 3 games left. Denver at the New York Giants. This was a toss-up. You and Josh chose Giants. Let me hear it.
Yeah, well, Josh is obviously a Giants fan. He's going to choose the Giants. I don't know. I don't know if I trust Teddy Bridgewater so much. And I think the Giants defense is not. I don't think they have a bad defense. And so I think that they hold them down. Hopefully, if Saquon's healthy and full playing, which I don't think he is, I think he might be taking. They want to see where he's at first. I think before they just go full on starting him, and he's just workload, because the workload that he was taking before was just a ton.
Yeah.
Their offensive line has not shown much, I guess, progression, and so that's a little scary against that defensive line. This is a toss-up for me, though, for sure. But I want to give the Giants the edge because I don't trust so much the Denver offense as much as I do, I guess, the Giants offense with Saquon.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time pulling for the Giants, and I think Denver, they have such a good defense too. I just think Teddy B's he's a pretty good replacement in quarterback from previous years in their quarterback room. I just think the Denver Broncos get it done. Those young guys are 1 year older, 1 more year of experience. I think it's enough to win week 1 here. Chicago at the Rams. This is self-explanatory. We all chose Rams. Rams, number 1 defense in the league. Chicago, there's definitely questions we need answered. How is Andy Dalton going to do as quarterback? You know, that's a tough one. I think just the Rams with Matt Stafford. I know you're high on that one. They get it done.
Yeah, I like the Rams a lot this year. I really considered. I think they make it an NFC Championship. I think they do.
I think that's a good bet. Baltimore at the Raiders. Me and Jake went Raiders. I'm pretty sure Jake might have chosen Baltimore at first and definitely changed his pick to Raiders. And kind of so did I. Baltimore with their injuries, they've been shuffling this past week a lot. I just think the Raiders have a good opportunity to win this week against a top team. Well, somewhat top team. I think they can just squeeze it out by a touchdown or a field goal. I think I have them winning like 27-24. So it's
24-27. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I just don't have any faith in the Raiders because I chose Baltimore to win this 28-10.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I like Derek Carr. I don't know why but I don't know. Maybe the receivers just aren't as good as I feel like they should be. Darren Waller's huge, and obviously he's the top tight end in the league, which is huge. But Josh Jacobs can run the ball really well.
He's still a question, though, a little bit. Like it's like, there's not a lot of people that have faith in Josh Jacobs at this moment. So
no, Oklahoma, by the way, he's from Oklahoma, not OU. He's from like Tulsa. Or, I don't think. Anyway, so yeah, I think Baltimore wins this 28. I guess 28-10. I'm gonna stick with it. Obviously, I think maybe Lamar Jackson shows out. I hope he does. He's on my fantasy team. So.
And that kind of concludes everything. So again, we're going to be doing this every week with our picks, just like this. Talk about the previous week, headlines, everything, injuries, everything around the league, and we'll be doing that every Wednesday. So you can look forward to this live stream, YouTube, and podcast every Wednesday. And then we're just going to have our picks. We're going to talk about it every week. So keep you up to date on everything around the league and kind of show or discuss what to expect every week. So thank you, everyone, for watching, listening. And we'll be with you guys next week. Have a great week 1.